a blue hero who's given us speed boost. There's some sort of theme I could use here. Nah, I'll think about it later. We opened this week with Tsubasa opening a portal to Skyline to welcome a guest who we haven't seen in like almost 20 episodes at this point, with Captain Shalala. She was there because Bird Boy wanted to relay some of his latest findings to the kingdom. Specifically, they were about another certain plot point that we haven't seen in quite a while with the knockoff dessert energy from another season. He explained how Precure energy was what undid damages in their battle, as well as what other sort of applications they could use it with, and hi Samurayama, let's just get this introduction out of the way. As I was saying, other applications included using it as a barrier that could defend Skyline from attacks and infiltration. It could also act as a means of purifying Killborgs through warriors aside from the Precure, like the Azure Guard. Obviously, this was really good news that Shala was kind of shocked by, and then through some very subtle visual storytelling, gripped her teacup in possible anger/frustration? Hello? Hello? Second week in a row. But yeah, this earned the praise from everyone, except Sora, who was being a bit of a downer after one insult from Skierhead in the last episode. Like sure, this is going to lead into somewhat of an interesting moral dilemma for her later, but come on girl, give the Bird Boy his flowers. Anyway, before heading back to Skyland, Akia suggested that the captain go with them on a little shopping trip, and here's another ship I would actually get behind. So they gave her some more casual clothes, and Jesus, Shala, you wanna buy some looser jeans later there, girl? Well, anyway, they took her to the reused assets mall. The captain is confirmed to be a boomer. I mean, yeah, obviously this was meant to be a humorous homage to the first episode, with Sora even clearly realizing how cringe she was back then. But come on, with her age, I can't be the only one thinking out-of-touch aunt, right? Later, wanting to try out a new sports jersey they bought, Shala asked Sora if she could train with her for a little bit. This caught the attention of her friends. Well, obviously, she just wants to make sure that she doesn't get NTR'd. Come on, try and tell me that face doesn't give out those sorts of vibes. Anyway, the captain just came out and asked what was bothering her admirer, to which Sora admitted that she didn't exactly know what exactly about Skierhead's words were bothering her. Regardless, Shala did give her some good advice, basically saying that Sora should just follow her own path towards heroism, alongside all the friends she had made in her journey. Through that, she wouldn't have to be barred by Skierhead's obviously malicious words, and while Sora understood this, she also wanted to try things out on her own this time. Okay, y'all are starting to reach fairy tale numbers of saying Nakama. But yeah, while the reason for Sora's moral quandary here was frankly pretty weak, her resolve here was certainly admirable, and even the majority of her team approved of her choice. With that, Shala made her way back to Skyland with the very important intel that I'm sure won't get leaked to anyone. You'll be sorry! The next day... Yeah, you almost got it there. Say Dio, you want to show her how it's done? To save her spine, the team decided to take their leader out for some fresh air. And of course, they just had a nice little shopping trip with no sorts of complications and high Skierhead. I'll give this Yahtzee bastard one thing, he's at least punctual. Hello? Hello? Okay, whoever you are, stop trying to call me! Anyway, he created a Monster of the Week with easily the most drip ever in this entire franchise, and the Precure engaged it. Wow, it actually didn't work this time. Yep, Sora was literally missing a step because she was still wrapping her head around Baldy calling her immature, which, yeah, just saying it out loud sounds pretty dumb. I mean, what else could they do that's even dumber? Sure, that would work out great. In fact, here, let me show you how that would work out. So, nice weather we're having, am I right? I mean, I'm not necessarily against a protagonist choosing the pacifist route, except when we're almost near the end of the story, and certainly not with a villain who's about as bland and has about as many emotions as Tofu. Though, to be fair, Sora not wanting to fight someone who at least claims they had loved ones was a decent moral dilemma for someone as lawful good as her. That said, her questions here were pretty eye-rolling. Yeah, Sora, there's a very simple answer for that.
Sociopath.
I mean, sure, that is an assumption, but it does fall in line with all of his other behavior, and the fact that I'm realizing that along with Saito-sensei, this dude also voiced Dawn Thousand.
お前の迷いがこの町ごと吹き飛ばす。
まだわからぬようだな。自らがさらなる絶望の扉を開けたこと。
So there's a lot of signs that this dude ain't exactly any good, and even if he was, there's no guarantee he could be reasoned with. But all of that said, I did like Sora's speech here, where she admitted that she was very naive, and yet she would still try to overcome all of her doubts and worries, as that was the hero girl she wanted to be. With that, and easily one of the most impressive sky punches, she confronted Skier 1000. Please tell me you're going to do that after you cool down his head a little. Unfortunately, he escaped before any sort of interrogation, so they just defeated the Dripborg. And with that, the episode ended with Sora trying to say that she'll work to learn more about the Ondargu Empire's motivations, which yeah, one, you're a little late on that, hero girl, and two, don't make any promises you can't keep. This episode is actually really good in areas, and that frustrates me. And really, that kind of describes Sora perfectly for me. She is a damn good lead cure, probably top tier in terms of character alone, but the messy conflicts and plot progression she's been given in the show hasn't been able to support those positive traits. The biggest issue is something that myself and the comment section have been pointing out throughout this entire final arc. This episode should have happened a lot sooner. When the major overarching theme of your show is heroism, subjects like what you should do about villains with loved ones and exploring their motivations are absolutely plot points that can and should be explored. And yet, while this show has explored some other very valid moral quandaries initially, like the stuff with Batamunda, which by the way, looking forward to next week, it has been hampered down by a severe lack of direction, especially in regards to their antagonists. The Precure have been mostly aimlessly fighting the Ondargu Empire for 41 episodes, and only now are considering that maybe they should get to know them a little better. And this is only brought up because Sora talked with a guy who has shown next to no emotions, good or bad, and thus it should be a little harder to imagine that they'd have loved ones, much less this late into the game. Yet again, this has been a bad habit of many modern Precure seasons that insist on backloading their stories to the point that they tip over, fall on their back, and can't get up. It's frustrating, especially when there are some great elements here. Stand out amongst them, of course, being Sora, who on her own is a great character, who is constantly trying to better herself, and naive or not, it is admirable that she does act amiable to everyone around her. It's just that her hero's journey has been very scattershot, mostly due to the absence of the engaging antagonist and her mentor in Shalala, which, yeah, I get the feeling my phone is going to ring again very soon. That said, I am absolutely still watching the show because I want to see those revelations they're clearly building towards that are likely going to be a little dramatic, especially after all this positive reinforcement. In this episode alone, Sora got a lot of good moments to display her heroism, from finding her resolve to seek her own path, to just straight up punching out an evil spirit bomb. Stuff like that was amazing, and would make for a certain twist all the more dramatic if things play out like I said they would for the longest time. And in that sense, I can say overall, some awkward moral dilemmas aside, this was a great episode and a much needed step forward in Sora's arc after suffering from a lack of focus following the Batamunda arc. We've only got a couple months worth of episodes left, so let's see if this show can at least end this hero girl's journey well, or just lead us down a dead end. Hope everyone here in the States had a happy Thanksgiving, and maybe even Black Friday, you know, if you ordered online like normal people would rather than the alternative. I mean, I certainly profited a lot this year with all the leftovers, plus I saved a lot on new gaming laptop. seriously, other than the Switch, I don't bother with any home consoles these days. Especially when they can help me edit these videos, which I could certainly use all the help I can get. Still, look forward to all of our future videos. Until next time though, for now my friends, and if you'll excuse me, I've been having a great conversation with this guy. So tell me, what's your favorite episode? Oh, good choice, good choice. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to see a crazy Optimus Primal take on all the Predacons?